my child. I know the weight you carry. I see the heaviness in your heart. You pray and wonder if your words vanish into the silence. You whisper my name, hoping I'm listening. Let me tell you this, I am. Freet the Saft's free first say, I have never missed a single tear. Not one prayer you've ever prayed has been wasted. Every whispered word, every desperate cry, every groan too deep for words. I have heard them all. There was a woman once, her name was Hannah. Her womb was barren, but her heart was full of longing. She was mocked, shamed, and left feeling forgotten. But she came to me. She didn't have polished words or fancy speech. She just poured her soul out. She wept. She trembled, and I listened. Not because her prayer was perfect, but because her heart was honest, and I answered. She gave birth to a child who would become a prophet. That's the power of prayer, my child. It's not about saying the right things. It's about bringing your whole self to me. The tears, the doubts, the frustration. I invite it all. Do you remember that night when you lay awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering if I really cared? That night when you almost gave up? I was right there beside you. You didn't have words then, but your pain prayed louder than your voice ever could. And I heard you. Prayer is not always about receiving the answers you want, but about transforming your heart to recognize the answers you need. Sometimes I say yes, sometimes no, and often I say, wait. But I never say I don't care. You asked me to open a door, but the one you wanted would have led to heartbreak. You prayed for that relationship to last, but I saw the pain that would have unfolded. So I closed the door. I said no, not because I was punishing you, but because I was protecting you. You trust that when you pray, I am already working, even when you see nothing changing, Let me tell you about another soul, a man who prayed in secret every morning before the world woke up. No one saw his prayers. No one applauded his devotion. But I did. I watched as he kept coming to me, faithfully, without fanfare. He prayed for his family, his business, his health. Years passed. Storms came. But through it all, he remained anchored in prayer. And one by one, miracles unfolded, quietly, gently, and with precision only I could orchestrate. Prayer, my beloved, is the soul's surrender to my timing. It's not a ritual. It's a relationship. Think of Jesus in the garden, the Son of God, overwhelmed with sorrow, fell to the ground in prayer. Father, let this cup pass from me, he pleaded. Even he, in his divine form, wrestled with pain. But do you remember how he ended his prayer? Not my will, but yours be done. That is the heart of powerful prayer. Not demanding, but yielding. Not controlling, but trusting. There's a little boy who used to pray by the window every night. His parents fought constantly. There was no peace in his house. But every night, he knelt down, closed his eyes, and said, God, please bring peace. His prayers didn't stop the arguments right away, but they did something else. They gave him strength. They taught him how to love. That boy grew into a man who became a counselor, helping others find peace in broken homes. That's the secret. Prayer may not always change your circumstances immediately, but it will always change you. Prayer keeps your heart alive when hope starts to fade. Prayer draws heaven close when hell tries to break you. Prayer silences the lies of the enemy and awakens the truth of my promises. When you pray, you declare, I still believe. Even when your voice shakes, even when your heart aches, even when your faith is as small as a mustard seed, do not stop praying. Some answers take years, but I am faithful through every season. There are blessings you've prayed for that haven't arrived. Yet. But that doesn't mean they aren't on the way. I've never missed a divine appointment. I never deliver too early or too late, And let me remind you, prayer is not just for crises. It's for celebration too. And my beloved child, I want you to know this. Prayer is not something that happens only in church pews or kneeling beside your bed. It happens in the grocery store when you whisper, "Lord, help me," under your breath. It happens when you're in traffic, feeling overwhelmed. It happens when you're too tired to speak, and your spirit simply sighs my name. That too is prayer. I hear you when you have no words left. I understand your heart even when your mouth is silent. You don't need to be eloquent. You don't need a script. You only need to be honest. There is no wrong way to come to me. You don't have to clean yourself up first. Come as you are, messy, confused, anxious, hopeful, heartbroken, joyful, grieving. Just come. You can speak freely. With me, you can yell, you can cry, you can laugh, you can be angry. I am not offended by your emotions. I created them. I am your safest place. Think of David, a man after my own heart. He poured everything out before me in the Psalms, his pain, his fears, his failures, and his praise. He was raw, he was real, and I loved him for it. That's what I want with you too. You don't have to hide from me. Come boldly, come broken, come completely, and trust that I will meet you there. Some of the greatest miracles begin with the quietest prayers. A whisper in a hospital hallway, a silent plea in a courtroom, a prayer written in a tear-stained journal, a request muttered behind closed doors when no one else knows what you're facing. I hear them all, and not one prayer goes unanswered. Sometimes the answer is not what you expect, but it is always what you need. I see what you cannot. I know what you do not. My ways are higher than yours, and my thoughts are not your thoughts, but my love for you, unshakable. I want you to believe again. Believe that prayer changes things, because it does. It moves the mountains of fear. It clears the fog of doubt. It opens doors no man can shut. It transforms the heart and aligns your spirit with my will. Prayer isn't just for the strong. It is for the weary. It isn't just for the holy. It is for the seeking. And it isn't just for the confident. It is for the trembling hands. I long to hold your hand in the quiet moments, to remind you that even when nothing makes sense, your prayers are powerful. They don't need to be long. They don't need to be loud. They just need to be real, right? So when your knees hit the floor, know that all of heaven stands with you. When your heart bows low, I lift you up. When your lips utter my name, I rush to meet you, And one day, not too far from now, you'll look back on this very moment and say, that's where I found him again. That's where I learned the true power of prayer. Because it's not just communication, it's communion. It's not just a request list. It's a sacred conversation. It's not just asking for help. It's drawing close to the one who already knows your needs. So come, talk to me, cry with me, walk with me, sit in silence with me, and watch how your life begins to shift. Because when you pray, when you really pray, you're not just changing the outcome, you're changing yourself, and I will meet you there every time, always, because I love you forever. Subscribe for God Message Now First.